Yes, guys, what's going on? It's Speci here. Today we've got a Nilfgaard deck, which I've spent an incredible amount of time trying to... Yes, guys, what's going on? It's Specimen here. I hope you are all doing well. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already. Nilfgaard Terranova. What a card this is. This is the deck I've built. I played a lot of and I'm having great success with. I think you're really going to enjoy it. It's just got so many points, while also having that nice amount of control to deal with things like monsters. I really do think it's a great deck. Terranova, one of my favourite cards from the expansion. We're using him in combination with the Turncoats and Fercart to make things spying. And if we make, for example, our opponents, I don't know, Braathens spying at some point in the game, we can then play Terranova onto Braathens, which is quite ridiculous. Also, Snowdrop is another one. If you play against a hyper-thin gamer and you've got Terranova, you give their Snowdrop spying and suddenly you can coup their Snowdrop, right? You can play their Snowdrop off Terranova, you can invo their Snowdrop. You've got so many Snowdrops, it's a joke. Like, the card is really cool. The Turncoat, I have to say, is quite lackluster. The alternative approach as well that you can do with this deck is you can also play the Mage Torturers. They have some assimilate value, which we do have. And they can mean that you can just throw your Turncoats away a little bit more. In this particular build, though, I've not got the Mage Torturers, and what that means is you really have to be careful with what you give spying, because if you just throw this card away in round 1, you're going to have to play one of these cards in round 3 to set up your Terranova, which is not what you want to do. What I often find doing is, even though this is an engine, I often have this card in my hand until there's a good target to give spying. But looking at the other new cards that we're going to be playing, Fercart, of course, being one. I absolutely adore this card, particularly when you combine it with Dead Man's Tongue. Being able to go Fercart onto Dead Man's Tongue is great. He's also giving spying statuses to other things. We're also going to be playing the double Mage Assassins as well. That is a big part of the reason, of course, we're playing Tactical Decision, because it allows us to play Affan, and of course it allows us to play Snowdrop, as well as the Sunset Wanderers, just being an incredible card with this leader ability. Really good at helping you defend the bleed. Like, let's say you lose round 1, your opponent needs to bleed you, bang, you've got your Sunset Wanderers. The card is just completely nuts in this deck. And yeah, that's kind of the formation, the foundation of the deck. Why do we want to play Tactical Decision? We've got all these points, but we want to play Terranova, so we need to have some control. Of course, Terranova comes with the Assimilate tag. No surprises, therefore, that we're going to be wanting to use cards such as Braathens and Coup. So we've got the one Informant as well as the Emissary for Braathens. We've got the Coup as well as the Invo. Invo, of course, able to trigger your Assimilate as well by invoing something, and then you can play it whether you Fercart, whether your Sunset Wanderers draws you a card, your Snowdrop, your leader. There's all sorts of ways of making sure that happens. So the other thing this deck really needs is some locks, right? And unfortunately, Nilfgaard has lots of those. So a couple of locks, we go for the Cavalries, but also a couple of Nauzicaa Sergeants, because Nauzicaa Sergeants are synergizing quite well with the leader ability. And if you look at actually the Turncoats, the locks, everything really has a deploy. So I found the Nausicaas to be really quite good. I have considered just playing one of them, and a couple of Tortoises as well. That is something else you might want to consider. But honestly, if they don't get answered, they play for like 12, 13 points. Something else just worth mentioning that I kind of forgot to is the synergy the leader has with your Assimilate cards. It's actually going to buff them, right? Like, you're playing your Moorlehem. So not only is your leader going to be triggering, you know, your Mage Assassins, you've got your flipping, your Affan, your Snowdrop. You've also got the Assimilate and your Nauzicaa. So the leader here is just completely nuts, I have to say. Arguably the best leader in the game. But yeah, we need locks. And this isn't going to cut it. So we're going to play Ramon. That's another big reason to play the Nausicaas as well. Ramon, again, he's going to trigger your Assimilate as well. So there's that extra little bit of bonus. Another card that I really wanted to try is a single Remedy. Remedy, really nice against monsters because you mess up their Mamuna. And something else that I decided I thought was quite good was Triss in this deck, because we've got a decent amount of Assimilate, and if you play Triss into like a Diplomacy or Triss into a Remedy, you're triggering your Assimilate up to 3 times with a Remedy, right? Because you can go Triss into Remedy, which is 1, into an Informant, which you created off Braathens, which is a second Assimilate. Does that make sense? I think, yeah, and then you play, yeah, and of course you copy one of their cards if you're Informant. So you can trigger a Assimilate up to 3 times, more likely 2. But then we realise, mate, Lacerate is only 6 provisions now. So you can really quite easily justify playing Triss Lacerate. So good in this meta. Monsters row stacks like crazy. And of course the Whisperers from Scoia'tael just goes so wide, and you don't really have an efficient answer unless you want to play tourney jousts, which honestly feels like a really bad trade when often your opponent's Whisper is playing for value on deploy because they'll Neuromancy into it, or they'll play it in combination with their scenario, and they'll have the orbs in the graveyard ready to go. So tourney joust feels like a really poor answer to it, but Lacerate feels great, and having double Lacerate in a lot of matchups, particularly against monsters, is really nice. And the Remedy is just there for monsters as well. Being able to go Remedy, you can go double Remedy. Admittedly, you're often going to go Lacerate. Also, yeah, NR Mages has just been mentioned in the chat by Witch. A really good card against NR Mages. It just does feel like it's pretty decent at the moment. SK, you've got good targets. Honestly, though, it was mainly there because this lineup was aiming to beat monsters. I could see an argument for ditching the Remedy, maybe for a Diplomacy. The last two cards then, I would recommend playing a Tortoise and a single Courier. Also, I was playing a Hunter, but again, I was trying to beat monsters quite heavily. So I think the Tortoise is just going to be a bit better as an extra proactive option, backup target for Ramon. And the Courier, you might be wondering, what on earth is that doing there, Spec? Well, it's just a much cheaper way of playing a Blightmaker. It's a lot less consistent, but a Blightmaker is obviously going to be able to tutor out your Mage Assassins in round 1, round 2. The Courier, you are aiming to do it in round 3. But also, the other thing you can do with the Courier, bear in mind it's going to play as a 9 for 4 if you thin your Mage Assassin. The Courier is just nuts if it works. Bear in mind what you can also do is there's sometimes you really need a certain card and you've run out of like draws. Snowdrop's a big example. You really want that Snowdrop in your hand, but you just don't have your Sunset Wanderess is going to draw you a card. You can use your Courier to look at the top 3 cards, move hopefully the Snowdrop into your hand or whatever the card you desperately need. Maybe it's Invo, and it just seems to work really well. This is the deck. I do hope you enjoy it. It's definitely an incredibly good deck. I'm almost at 2.5 with it. Still, again, the one thing you could maybe tinker is with the Triss, the Lacerate, the Remedy. But I have to say, Lacerate feels great at 6p with Triss. Hope you guys enjoy. Nice one. They come as well. Go with my dad and my little sister. My older sister can't come. She's just moved to Edinburgh. She's like in the process of moving in now, which is pretty exciting. Hey, Raging Brothers. Thank you so much for 5 months, man. Much love. I've got my Pickle Rick mug, which is a bit scuffed because of the green screen. Okay. Going first. Honestly, the coup kind of seems awkward if I'm looking at this. Probably should have kicked the Terranova sooner from the sun. Good to see you all. Hope you're well. I'm gonna stream for a while. I'm not gonna take a break. I'm just gonna maybe order some food. I think. Is it a Tuesday? Oh yes. Just gonna treat myself, order some food, just stream. That's my plan.
Do I enjoy torture? Perhaps a bit.
It's not the easiest thing to respond to, that. Let me just do this though.
What is truth if not an illusion? I bring death.
Couple of nice options there. The Vigo just feels very nice. I do this because it sets up the coup if they don't play an Assimilate card, which honestly, are they really going to play an Assimilate card? I'm also only playing one Blightmaker, right? So I can maybe banish the Blightmaker. They do play an Assimilate card, but this also sets up my coup. Unless they play an Emissary. See, they're much smarter than me. Much smarter than me. They do play into Invo though, in fairness, so I'm just going to take the Invo here. I guess I could have made Vigo spying with the Informant, right? But I didn't think that far ahead, to be honest. I feel reasonably happy with a pass here. Like, I feel like they have to see quite a lot of points. This is a pretty slow play. Like, what, they're going to be at like 12 tops, you would imagine. Pretty good play. No Assimilate down. I could obviously just play the Informant, but...
Her grace will not be pleased.
I think this pass is just good for us here. Like, the one thing I maybe regret, again, is not like... I probably should have gone Informant, make the Vigo Spy, and then I could coup it, right, rather than Invo. I think that was slightly thick of me, but I kind of fancy my chances in the long run, to be honest. They have the Enslave, but I have so many points from my leader. I have locks for days, right? For Helge. Like, my hand had quite a lot of good cards. Even the Informant's not bad, right? Yo, GG, yes. What deck were you playing? I do remember, vaguely. I definitely remember playing you tying, and it was a good game. This is our opponent's Vigo. It's not bad to have, is it? I could do a better dry pass card, I must say. So we're going to lose the Informant. Oof. This doesn't feel like a great dry pass card. That's better. That's a little bit better. Having said that, this is like one of my plays that I would actually like to open the next round with, right? Do I really want to kick this card? I mean, for some reason I made a decision not to give anything spying, so I've kind of made my bed. This is not a playable card. Guerrilla Tactics with Igni, that's the one. That was quite a game, yeah? I lacerated you for like 100 points. You, Guerrilla Tactics Igni me. Guerrilla Tacticked? I don't know. Alright, hand is looking very awkward, as it often does in these long round threes. Braathens would be nice, I'm not gonna lie. Maybe just lose a lock. Controversial, I know. This is also just... let's get with this, right? This is too good to say no to. I'm just gonna keep mulliganing. See, this is worth, right? Has to be. So, in terms of proactivity, I think we just take the Blightmaker and just accept it's a little bit rubbish.
No good wine will come from here, not even compost.
So, the Blightmakers are making my leader worse, but they're making the deck more consistent, right? And it also gives me more agency over what cards I keep in my hand.
History shall remember the armed Ian. Alba!
Got your A-level results back. How did they go, man? Hope they went well. Hope everything's good. And if not, fuck it, man.
The stars contend who shall be victorious today.
To thee, Nilfgaard!
Stop resisting. All good? Nice. Congrats, mate. Are you able to celebrate at all in any way? Or is it just going to be a low-key one? Hello, JHT. I remember when I got my AS results back, yeah? And they were bad, bro. Well, like, bear in mind my sister was like the high achiever, yeah? And my little brother was too. Night and Leeds quality, man. Enjoy. Sounds like a winner. Hey, Finn. JHT. Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Gonna stream for quite a long time. That's the plan.
Prescription, a bit of bloodletting.
There's a Blightmaker. They're searching for something good, aren't they? That's what they're doing. I know what they're up to, guys.
A fine vintage it would have made.
So, what do we get rid of, everybody? I think we get rid of... probably the Mage Torturer. And do we ditch the Lacerate? Probably, right? The extra points are nice. But we could ditch the Emissary too. I could have kept the Lacerate, honestly. Whatever, we'll just play for points off this. Lacerate against Enslave shouldn't be doing too much. This is when they play Vigo into Master of Puppets, right? I'm like, yeah. Hey, Siobhan. So we can go leader next, if we want. We have a ton of agency over it. Okay, now we can... Again, my decision to mulligan my coup is just complete stinker. Complete stinker decision. So I can give this spying, but then I lose the option to give... I guess I don't lose the option to give Braathens spying, because...
I need not spill blood to make you suffer like never before.
Yeah, ditching the coup, very dumb idea. I'm going to Wales, mate. Just with the fams. I haven't actually been on holiday for like 2 years at least, maybe 3. I think it's 2 though. Alright, this is obviously where it does get a bit scary, but we have to back ourselves that we've just got more.
Defeat them with hunger. Crush them.
That is a little bit intimidating, not gonna lie. Do we go for a similar line? Poisons and that? Maybe. Again, I'm playing my opponent's Vigo before everything else. It feels very bad.
What is truth if not an illusion?
We take the lock here.
And if I insert a needle here, what then?
Maybe I could have taken the Purify Gizone. It's gonna probably do this anyway. I haven't seen their Braathens yet. Hello, Mr. James. Wagwan. Wagwan, brother. Alright, do we just slam the Terranova for the Vigo? I feel like it would be a little bit rude not to, yeah. It's getting a little bit out of control, mate. Our opponent needs to calm themselves down. We put our Braathens on top, guys.
Where it doesn't belong.
I'm not sure about my placements of cards here, I have to say.
I bring death, quite literally.
What was this placement, man? Terrible. Very terrible. I seem to have a bit of a board space issue here as well, guys. I don't know if you've noticed.
The Empire will be victorious.
It's looking a little bit dicey. Board space.
Why aren't you listening? Listen to me sing, damn it!
My men know the meaning of sacrifice.
No emissaries in sight, guys, either on my opponent's side of the board. Yeah. Oh my god, the bribery. This is a disaster, man. The low roll. See, I missed my Braathens, which is obviously quite devastating, but I can do this at least.
What is truth if not an illusion?
No emissary, unfortunately.
Everyone has their secrets. Everyone.
Maybe this was a misplay. I should have just... I don't know. It feels good to try and lock their board space too in it, but I mean the fact that these two are actually next to each other is a bit...
The shame I have made.
Yikes. Hopefully we've just got enough here. Obviously Braathens' Q would have been a lot better because I would have just gone Braathens into...
Not allowed to sit back and do nothing.
What's happened there? Game? Wait, what? What just happened? Was this bricked? Wait, I'm so... What? Huh? Loss? Alright, can someone clip that, please? It's a bit much. It's a bit much. Is it a she? Oh, piss off. Alright, guys, it's time to break out the... This is where the Lacerate was good. But the Master of Puppets... That card's no joke, man. It makes our Vigo better. The Purify's really sad, though, I have to say. So we probably just should not try and commit anything in round 1. Because that seems to be a mistake. Just keep all the juice, pass on 7, the longer the round, maybe the better chance we've got. I'm not sure that's even true, though. I mean, we've got the coup. We always take this. This is too good to say no to. I haven't made an FPL league. Do you know what? That's a really good idea. I'll do it at the end of the stream. Sushin, and then I'll make sure I'm plugging it. Because I don't plug it too late, right? That's a very good shout. We'll get that up and running.
I need not spill blood to make you suffer like never before.
Probably should be looking to get the patient. Whatever it's called. There's a few things I miss as well about the old version of this deck, to say.
You wanted a coup? You got one.
Pressure, guys. We're going for it. We're going for it. We've got the Braathens. Sod it. We could also go for the Terranova. Just go for it, right? And then have nothing left but win on even. Just save leader, something like that. Could be an approach. Kind of tempting.
I hate nothing more than a creaky door.
Like, it's very unlikely I actually get these lavas in round 3. A lot of people not playing Koshchi, by the way. So I've seen quite a lot of people without playing Koshchi, which is kind of interesting. I can see it.
You smell ripe with fear, little one.
Do we need this? Probably not, right? We can probably hold on to this. Maybe that was just a bad life choice, though.
A witch's best friend is a pig, no doubt.
Very little thrive going on here. That's a nice card to find for that exact reason. We just have 1 soldier left, but it is the lock with Ramon, which is kind of what we want for round 3. Like 3 locks in round 3 sounds like it's going to do a pretty good job for us. Especially if we win on either, but again, you can see why the Lacerate is on option 2. The Master of Puppets, though, whew, it's pretty nice. We could just downgrade these again, just go for the 4Ps. I do feel like the turncoats are quite This one's quite a bit better. Wow, really? A Uridan in round 1. I mean, very happy to see that. This is just a really terrible play. Like, what if I can give this spying? This keeps me ahead.
Please wait, Your Excellency. Falling
Maths is very hard, apparently. What a stinker play, man. How did I get that maths wrong? I must have added 7. At least I have a cheap way of getting there. Oh dear. We're tempting them in. I mean, honestly, like, getting the Uridan is still pretty good. Look, just tempting them, guys. You just don't want to know. Like, what if I slam my leader? I might do it. I think I've got nothing left if I slam my leader, right?
No stench more foul than fresh well charred.
Imagine that was a turncoat. Bloop! Uridan. Yep. Well played. We have to go long round. Just doesn't feel very good. It's like I kind of was it going for the win on even or bust line there. Yeah, again, we see the problem with this deck mulliganing cards like Coup, but it is an echo card. It does feel like it just needs to have like 100 fours, this deck. You just always seem to mulligan provisions away. Which is obviously part of the nature of the deck, but... Alright, can we do it, guys? Let's find out. Probably leaning towards no. Which basically is telling me we just need to bring the deck back to more similar to what it was before. Snowdrop? Question mark. I ditched the Coup as well, man. Punished. Very much punished.
You will not regret this, good sir. Your humble servant.
So unfortunate we missed this Master of Puppets. I think he was going to pop off, guys, to be honest. It's not looking great, is it? We have a lock of this. We can Invo Mamuna, I guess. This card is actually smurfing now.
I am your source of self-destruction.
Looks a little controversial, but I've played this now because I can feel the road, right? If they can't answer this, we might actually just win the game. This is probably just our Invo, isn't it? We don't have to take it straight away, though. So we can click. How does this work? Or is it this row we need to steal? I think it's from this row, isn't it?
My duty? To stick my nose where it doesn't belong.
So I was supposed to do that the other way around. This is our Invo, I think, right?
A superb specimen, truly.
Maybe not. What the hell is that? Haha, what? See, this should be the thing with Mamuna. It should actually have like the ability to brick, but seemingly doesn't. Do I want this card? It looks pretty bad, but it's probably better than the other cards I can find in it. Oh yes.
Move those hooves! We'll both be happy.
Thank you.
Is it peace you desire? Prepare for war.
And the water, my lord. Not too warm, I trust.
Controversial, but it gets. Was that better? Not convinced it was actually. Looks like a loss. It's pretty close though. I drew a bit better. We're fine here, right? I should have killed this way earlier. It's just pointless now. That's also a misplay, right? His opponent's doing their best to lose, but I think they've got it.
I bring death. Quite.
Ah, Olbert should have won.